So Hefeweizens and wheat beers in general, wheat beers is just any of the wheat family of beers is something that damn it, I got an itchy on the back of my head. Okay. Okay, before we get started with the beer review, I want to talk about something that happened today. We went to the Asian market, picked up a whole bunch of stuff for things that we want to make that are going to be very, very yummy. And I picked up stuff to make jellyfish salad. Now, I know what a lot of you are thinking, like my mom, you're sitting there thinking, ew, that's nasty. Well, I like it, so I don't care, okay? But I wanted to point out this is what I got right here, okay? And this is, of course, natural jellyfish. As opposed to what? Unnatural jellyfish? Or like genetically modified super soldier jellyfish? Or are we talking like alien jellyfish that are going to attack Tokyo? Hey guys, this is James here with another beer review. Today we have a German-style Hefeweizen called Elevator Wheat. This is made by Coop Ale Works, which is from right here in Oklahoma City. Okay, so Hefeweizens, Wit beers, wheat beers, anything really in that wheat family are one of my favorite styles. I really enjoy the wheat ale. Now, when I was first started drinking back in college, obviously I was drinking really cheap shit because that's what you drink when you're in college. And I didn't know any better, so I was drinking crap like Bud Light and stuff like that. Now, obviously, I was a poor college student, so as I said in the first episode, there was a lot of Lost Lake in my life at that time. But as I started to branch out and learn more and more about beer and learn more respect for the actual beverage and the industry and just everything about it. I mean, this is why we call the channel Respect the Drink, is because we have a lot of respect for the drink itself. So when I started branching out into more craft brews, I started looking at things like wheat beers. That's really where it started. It started with Boulevard Unfiltered Wheat, which is something that we'll have to do a review on sometime in the near future. But it was that and Boulevard's Pale Ale, because you used to be able to get those two in a variety pack, and now that variety pack has changed. It's now got, instead of the unfiltered wheat, it's got the 80 acre hoppy wheat. That's really hard to say. And the pale ale, but the pale ale's still in there. But we're not talking about Boulevard today. And I don't know why I've rambled on about Boulevard for so long. We are talking about Coop Ale Works Elevator Wheat from Oklahoma City. This is, as I said, a German Hefeweizen style beer. Its alcohol by volume is 5.6%. IBUs is low. It's at 17. One thing about a wheat beer, any wheat beer, except for maybe a Christofweizen or something that's filtered, has a lot of sediment in the bottom of it. And there are several ways to rouse the wheat in it to, or that's what they say, rousing the wheat, but there are several ways to agitate. Agitate's the word. So there are several ways to agitate the beer and to get that sediment to circulate throughout the container. One of the ways is to pour out a certain amount of it, and then when you get about, a lot of people will do it to about halfway down the original container, and then they will swirl it, and then they will continue to pour the rest after that. The swirling, a lot of people will tell you to swirl it gently. Some people will actually prefer to pour it out a little bit further down, maybe a fourth of the container, and swirl it a little bit more aggressively. There's really no right or wrong way as far as that is concerned, because it's just like, and this is going to be weird to cut, but I'm going to have to do it. But anyway, so there's a lot of different ways to agitate the sediment, and there's no real right or wrong way to do it. It's just like aftercare for a tattoo. One tattoo artist will tell you that you have to use Aquifer on it. Another will say that lotion is just fine. It really just depends. There's no real right or wrong way. But that's the swirling method. And then there's also the method, which I'm going to do with this particular beer, which is to roll it very gently back and forth. You don't want to roll it too much, okay? But this will agitate that sediment that's there in the bottom. Now, I like to do this on cans of wheat beer because with the bottles, it's a little bit easier to see what your level is and how much needs to be agitated. With the cans, because they are not clear, obviously, you can't see that. Oh, yeah. Speaking of cans when it comes to craft beer, we're going to have to do an episode just about that particular subject, about cans and craft beer. Because there are some very important things about craft beer that, well, any beer, really, that, okay, so, yeah, there are very important things about cans. A lot of people don't like cans for arbitrary reasons, and we'll get into that in another episode. Or maybe I'll talk about it today. I don't know. But anyway, so this is Elevator. I didn't read the thing because the thing is really cool. It says, a unique spin on a classic style. This spicy wheat ale starts with a blend of Maris Otter, white wheat, and a hint of rye. After a late addition of Cascade hops, the beer is fermented on a German wheat yeast. Notes of clove and banana can be found, along with noticeable spice from the rye. So, oh, and presentation. We didn't go over presentation. I got to go over presentation. I got to get my formula down on how to do these damn episodes. Okay, so presentation's pretty cool. It's got this nice little old school building on here. It's got it says elevator, wheat. Okay, yeah, that's nice and all. But it's got these little wheat grains right here, which is really, really cool. Now, wheat is actually very important to the economy of Oklahoma. It's something that a lot of people here are pretty passionate about. So to name this elevator wheat instead of like a Coop Works American Hefeweizen or something like that really brings it a local flavor, which I think is really cool. So just based on that alone, high marks for the presentation of the beer in its original container. Now, as far as the look of the beer, we'll get to that here in just a second. I already agitated this, didn't I? Yeah, I did. Okay, so we'll get to the look of this beer. Okay. Okay, so we have traditional German-style Hefeweizen here. It's very cloudy, as is to be expected from the Hefeweizen style, or any wheat beer for that matter. Pours a nice, very foamy head, and it's got a lot of carbonation, a lot of bubbles that are flowing up in there. I do love the Hefeweizen glass because it really accentuates the colors as it goes down. You can see it goes from a bit of a darker color to a bit of a lighter color down here on the bottom, where the beer itself is a little bit thinner and lets the light come through a little bit better. Um, but this is a very, very good looking beer. It's got that nice wheat color. Now, as far as the smell goes, oh, that smells lovely. I love the smell of wheat beers. The wheat beers smell so good. And I get a lot of different things going on in there. I do get that clove. I do get that clove and banana smells. You can smell a slight bit of hop, but not a whole lot. Hop's not very, well, hop's important, but it's not one of the most important for the flavor or the smell of something like Hefeweizen or an unfiltered wheat beer. But they're there. They're very subtle though, so that's good because of the style. Now, if this was an IPA, you'd definitely want to be able to smell the hops very, very aggressively. But these hops are very subtle. Um, you get the basic citrus aroma that comes with a lot of the wheat beers, and again, there's that banana, that clove that's in there. It smells a little bit spicy and a little bit earthy, which is good for this style. You can kind of smell the wheat in it. It's got a lot of different things going on here. A lot of different good things going on here. So I'm very pleased with the smell. The smell is good. Okay, so the taste is the most important part. So this is the part you've all been waiting for, the taste. That's very good. That is a very good Hefeweizen. So you've got a lot of citrus in there. It very much that citrus is very strong, much stronger in the taste than it was in the smell. The banana is a little bit more subdued, and the clove is definitely there on the taste. You get a little bit of a sour taste on the back end rather than that bitter hop taste. Although I do seem to get a little bit of hops the longer it sits on the tongue. That's kind of to be expected. Again, hops very subtle. That citrus is much more citrus. Sour citrus is much more predominant than the bitterness, and which is good. Again, it's got that earthy flavor that we expect from something that's a wheat beer in general. So it gives you all the expected flavor profiles that you're looking for in a wheat. And I love it. I'm very happy with this. I like this beer quite a lot. Now you can see that even though the head dissipates quite a bit, there's not a lot of head retention on there. It's got a decent amount of lacing on it, so that's pretty cool. It gives it a good look. Um, Now we'll go over to the notes. This is uh, this is the part where we tell you what other people have thought about this particular beer. Um, Beer Advocate scores it at an 86%, which is very good. Rate Beer has it at a 91 for style and a 57 overall. Beer Advocate ratings are a 3.89 out of 5 based on only 63 ratings. So there's not a lot of ratings about this beer out there. And probably because it's more of one of our local beers here. I'm not sure how wide the distribution of this beer is. One thing that I will state before I go any further is that I'm going to get a little bit more intricate in the details of my notes, and if I need to call or email a brewery to get some of those details, like the distribution area, I think it would be a good idea. If you want to see that, I will implement that at some point going forward. Again, Beer Advocate rates it, has a rating of 3.89. Rate Beer gives it a 3.28 out of 5. That's based off of 33 reviews, and Untapped gives it a 3.55 out of 5 based on 2,630 reviews. So the ratings on this beer are pretty consistent. One thing that I've noticed while doing research on these beers is a lot of times Beer Advocate, Rate Beer, Untapped, and sometimes Beer Tutor, Draft Magazine will fluctuate on the ratings. I don't know why that is. You would think after 1,000 ratings or so it would all even out, but sometimes they do fluctuate. This one's actually pretty consistent. So that's cool. So like I said, once again, Coop Ale Works is from here in Oklahoma City. One thing that I would like to do is visit some of these breweries and maybe talk to some of the people there, hit their tasting room and stuff, and record those experiences in sort of like a vlog format. If you guys think that would be cool and you want to see it, let me know down in the comments, because I think it would be pretty neat to get out there and kind of interact with the brewing community just here in my local area. I think that'd be a lot of fun. And of course, maybe branching out and going to some places, Texas, Kansas, places that are close, like Rochester, New York. That's not close, but I want to go there. So, anyways, but if you want more information on Coop Ale Works and what they have, you can obviously hit up their social media, or you can go directly to their website, which is just coopaleworks.com. So go check them out. About the beer, just final analysis. It's a good beer. I love it. If you can get it in your area, awesome. Go check it out. It's really, really good beer, highly rated, and it's very refreshing. As always, taste the drink and respect the drink. Okay, so Hefeweizens, wheat beers, wit beers, basically any of those. I said wit instead of vit. Damn it. Okay, so Hefeweizens. Okay, so Hefeweizens, wheat. Stop it. But you get the basic citric. You get, I can't speak well. I admit I've had this before. I love it. I just like wheat beers. I'm probably going to cut that part out. Whatever. um, I will cut that out. Don't worry. Definitely going to buy again. Um, Not like I haven't bought it before, but you guys didn't need to know that.